All right, so I am back in. We're going to do the Block 3 orthographic drawing here next. And as we go, if you take a look at, we're going to kind of pull this up here so you can see this is what Block 3 looks like. So we're going to have our front view. It's more or less a U-shaped drawing. So we're still at 6 inches by 3 and 1.5 on our depth. So notice here, so we've got dimensions of 1.5 coming here, and we've got dimensions of 1.5 coming to here on this side. So we're going to have to pay attention to that when we go through and create this drawing. So, but first I'm going to start off with creating my 9 lines. And again, if you recall, the 9 lines is a way for us to kind of block in what should be seen in the front view, what should be seen in the side view, and what should be seen in the top view. So I'm going to go back to my construction line layer, activate that, and recall now I'm going to turn on ortho because I just want to start here with vertical, or one vertical and one horizontal line that are both on my X and Y axis. So come to my line drawing tool. Now my first point is going to be 0, 0. I'm using my keypad and my left hand enter these and hitting enter, and my right hand is still on my mouse. So now, because I've got ortho on, it locks me in either at 0 or 90 degrees. Of course, I could also go to the right of my insertion point to go 180 degrees, or I could go down with it, which will also be 90 degrees, but go in the opposite direction. So in this case, I want a 20-inch line. So I just move my arrow or move my cursor to the right, so I'm at 0 degrees, type in 20 on the keyboard and hit enter on the keyboard, and I've got my line. Now, I'm zoomed in a little bit too far, so I'll just right click and confirm to drop that line, and then I'll zoom out. So there we go. Now, I'll go ahead and also do the vertical line now here too, again. So my left hand is 0, 0 with my input, hit enter, move my cursor up, and I just need to type in 20 and enter, and I've got that line. So I'll right click, confirm to get out of it. So there's the start of my lines. So now I'm going to go into my modify panel to the offset tool, and this is where I want to start to develop my different lengths here for my width, my height, my depth, those parts that we give to you. So my width of this part is going to be 6. Now read what it says here down in my command bar. It says offset, specify offset distance or through erase layer. I don't know, you guys don't know what through erase or layer is just yet, so we're just going to offset that distance. And we know our width when we go this first and we offset this vertical line. That first space that we're doing is for the width of it. So in this case it's 6 inches, so I'll enter 6 and hit enter, and I'm going to select the line and I'm going to move it to the right. Notice it's there. I just have to hit, if I hit the enter key on the keyboard, it kind of takes it off. So we'll go ahead and do this again. 6, enter with the keyboard. I'm now going to left click using my mouse, move it over, and I left click to place. That's a mouse key. Now I'm going to click on the line that I just dropped. The next vertical line is going to give us our space between views. Now it's still holding 6 inches in there, and we want that space to be 1. So I need to just hit 1 and left click to place that line. Now it goes back to 6. So type in 1. Now here I'm at key with the keyboard, enter to change that, and it places it. Let's go ahead and click that, move to the right. Again, this is 6 inches, but this is going to represent our depth, which should be 1.5, and enter with the keyboard. So all right, now I'm down here for my horizontal, and I'm going to go up. Don't just place it at 6 inches, because then you'll have a 6 by 6 inch block. And our block isn't 6 by 6, it's 6 by 3. So I got to set this for my height, which is 3 inches. Enter using my keypad. I click that line, move up. This is my spacing between views here again. So I hit 1 and enter on my keyboard. Now, that way I got 1 inch in both spacing between my front and side view and 1 inch spacing between my front and top view. Now this last horizontal line that I'm going is representing my depth. So 1.5 here and enter. So I've got those in, and you're still saying, okay, well, where's the 8th line or the 9th line? I only got 8 lines there. I got 4 vertical and 4 horizontal. So, well, that 9th line comes from a special place. It comes from right there. So let's go back to our draw panel, our line tool. Notice I'm coming over here. Nothing's kind of clicking, so none of my snaps are turned on. So let's come over here. I'm going to hit that drop pop-up window, and I'm going to select, in this case, intersection. So now notice how it gives me that point. So I'm going to left click there for my line. So notice how it's still wanting to just kind of give us vertical or horizontal. That's because we still have ortho turned on. So let me turn ortho off. Now I can kind of come in here, and this is just going to be a 5-inch line. I'm going to hit 5, tab over, and I'm going to do 45 degrees, enter. So there we go. Right click, confirm to exit out, and I got my 9 lines on here. Now we're going to trim out these that we don't need. So back to my modify panel, use my trim. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to press down and hold on the left mouse button, and I'm just going to kind of move over those lines to trim all of them out. And I'm done. So I can just click on the check. So I'm going to do a zoom all. Again, notice my right hand is still on the mouse. I'm just taking my left hand on my keyboard. I'm going to hit Z, enter, A, enter for zoom all. Or I can go Z, enter. Notice all the commands down here. I could go ahead and move my cursor over, but if my cursor's over here, that's a lot of wasted movement. So it's easier in this case just to use my keyboard for entry, and I'll type E for extents and hit enter and zoom in a little closer. All right, so there is where we've got our 9 lines. So this represents the outside dimensions of each of those views of my block. Now I want to get where the inside features are going to be. So I'm going back to our CAD drawing here. So again, so we know that we've got this inside feature here. This should look like a U. So I'm going to put some construction lines in. I'm going to put construction lines in so I know where this line is going to become in both view, and where I know where that line is going to come in both views. And I'm also going to put a construction line in going this way so I know where this line is going to be. And notice that this is going to be a hidden line as well. So let me get in here now, and we can go back and take care of that. So back to my offset tool. So in this case, my offset is going to be half of 3. So I'm going to go 1.5 and enter. And then I'll click on that tool, and it's 1.5. And I left click to drop it. Well, again, we're still in the same tool, and we know that this is the same, so I'll go ahead and, well, left click on this and move it and drop it. Okay, and then of course from the other side of the front view, we get this one. There we go. So that gets those in. Now I've got these in spot. I go back to my object lines, and now I start to fill in and say, okay, well, now I know exactly where my true line or the object lines actually needs to be. So let me go in. I think I need some endpoints here too on my object snaps. So let's go draw, and we will pick these up. So we're going to now just kind of continue to use the draw line tool to go back and forth over each of these spots. Pick all of these up. Watch your snaps, because sometimes it wants to snap to the wrong place, especially if you're close to midpoints or other features. Okay, so I've got the full front view in. So let me right click and confirm to get out of that. So I'll right click and repeat last command. So, and going in here, this is our side view, what it should look like. There we go. And confirm. Okay, now I'm still showing that line right here. So we have to think about it. Okay, do I need and should this line be here? And should it be a solid object line or should it be some other type of line? Well, again, as we know from moving these blocks around, that this should be a hidden line. So I'm going to hold off on that. I'm going to go ahead and get my lines, my solid object lines drawn up here in the top view. I will mention that object lines override and take precedence over hidden lines and center lines. That's why you might, on drawings, you're going to see object lines over hidden lines. And center line, if you have a center line and an object line on the same plane or the same line, your object line is going to override that too. All right, so there is what the top view looks like. Confirm that. Now, the only thing I need to do is draw that hidden line here, and to do that, I got to activate and draw on the hidden line layer. So I'll make that active. That layer is now active. Now I can come back to the line. I'll draw from here to there to get that put in place. Right click confirm to get out. And then lastly, I'm just going to go ahead and click on the light bulb to turn my construction line layer off. And this is left with what this drawing should look like in your front, top, and side views. So that finishes up. I'll just go up and do a file save because I've already saved it as block 3. So we'll just do a file save here to make sure that we save it. And then I can go back once that's saved. So taking a little bit of time. Once it's saved, then I can go right back to the main screen of the AutoCAD web version. And that completes this tutorial for block 3 orthographic drawing.